What's up, family? It's your favorite cousin again, back with episode 8 of Richard Talks. And today we're going to discuss the illusion of control. Yeah, we're going to challenge the belief that we can control our lives. And honestly, I don't believe we can necessarily dictate where we're going to end up from the starting point of our life, meaning from when we're born. I don't believe we can control how our lives are going to go, what we're going to do, what we're going to see. I don't believe we have that much power over our lives. But where we do have power is on the micro. See, the macro, we don't have control over our lives. But the micro, we do. The the small part, what happens, we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond and react to things. And I believe that's the aspect of control that we do have of life. But we can't control life. We can't control things that happen to us. You know, life is so unpredictable. So for you to say that you could control, to say that you have control, that's hard to believe. The only thing, like I said, that we have control of is how we respond to things. When something in the world takes place, how are you going to respond to it? That's the fact that we have control. But to think that we have, you know, control over things, or we have control in this gigantic universe, or we have control above God, it's just slightly hard to believe. I think that's why the saying is so out there that you can't control things, it's how you respond to it. And if you look at a lot of people who have lost control of their lives, or you look at where their lives are, they'll say this happened, right? Which is fair. But they'll say this happened. But those things happen based off of how they responded to something. So somebody may have had lack when they were growing up, or missed a parent, or whatever the case may be. And the way they responded to it was maybe not from a place of strength, or the way they responded to it was a place of needing more comfort. So due to how they responded to it, that's how their life played out. Versus someone who tackled it head on, or tackled it with strength, or had some sort of comfort. Their life played out a little bit different. You know, you can't control what happens to you. You can't control that in life. And I think that's almost the beauty of life, is how you respond to it. Like, to be honest with you, how fun would life be if we got to control it? If we got to control every aspect of life, how fun would it really be? Would there really be a purpose of life if we got to control every aspect of it? We wouldn't learn, we wouldn't experience, we wouldn't grow. It's impossible. You know, I think that's the whole purpose of freely allowing life to control and you just responding. That's the beauty of life. It's like flowing water. Don't try to control the direction of the water. Just look at the water and how it flows and go along with it. Don't try to go against it, go with it. You know, like I always say, look at the trees, look at the birds, look at everything else. They don't control the weather. They don't try to say, or they don't try to control things, or, you know, they don't live in the illusion of that they have control. When it gets cold, they fly to where it's hot. Simple. It's how they respond. See, they respond for their survival. It also goes back to us as humans. Are we just too intelligent for our own good? But like I said, it's how we respond to things. It's not so much, you know, you having control. Because a lot of times as humans, when we have control, we mess it up. When we have control, we don't do good by the control. We don't control right. We abuse control. We do it for nefarious reasons, or we do it to, you know, not just control our livelihood for to be better, but we control our livelihood to be better and control other people's livelihoods to be worse for our come up. So no, I think it was perfect the way God or the universe set it up to where we don't have control. Now, being able to manifest things in is different than having control. It's different. Yes, the illusion of control. I think it's a beautiful thing. Because I said, how fun would it be if you got to play a video game and you just was able to do whatever you wanted from start to finish, and that's it? There would be no point, you know? Even in Sims, you have to work to get points, or any game, you have to work to get something, and you respond to the game. You don't just hop on, do what you want to do, and that's it. How fun would the game be? The games that are the most fun are the ones that have a challenge to them. Are the ones that you have to learn skill, you know? Are the ones that you have to overcome more checkpoints and this and this and this. Those are the games that are the most fun. Because you're not controlling it, you're going along with it. And that's how life is. Life is the most fun when you're just responding to it. It's like a dance. It's like a dance. And this is why I believe it's important for everyone to be tapped into their feminine side. Not say be ruled by their feminine side, or especially men. I'm not saying it's important to be ruled by your feminine side or anything like that, but understand your feminine side. Understand it. Because responding to life will be very beneficial. I mean, it will be very beneficial when you're trying to respond to life. That's what I mean. It's like when you see the relationship dynamics between man and woman, and man is the leader, the woman is not controlling. And if you see the feminine qualities of a real feminine woman, guess what? She's going along with it, like a dance, a flow. You know, when you see two people dancing, a masculine and a feminine dancing, she's allowing him to lead, and she's going along with it gracefully. So I believe that's the feminine property that we should be able to have, at least tap into in times of need. And that's allowing the dance flow, allowing the flow, and going along with it gracefully. So life is the male partner, and humans is us. We are the female partner. That's why I said it's important to be able to tap into your feminine side and not be so, you know, be able to flow with grace, move with grace, move in action, move in thought and grace. So this reaction happens, life throws this action. How are you going to move with grace around it? Move with it. Instead of trying to control a situation, to control life, dance along with it. In those 7 instances, you lose your job. Instead of trying to fight that, and I'm going to get my job back, and just move along with it. You know, move with grace around it. Move with grace with it. You lost your job. Ooh, okay. So now when you move with grace, now you're thinking about so many more options that open up, and the abilities and possibilities now that's open, and Because now you're moving with grace. You're not trying to control the situation. You're allowing things to be. You're just moving along with it. You're trusting. Like I said, you ever see two partners dance, a male and a female? When they're dancing, she trusts him. And she's moving along with grace with him. And she's trusting. And you see it. And I believe it's the same thing. Life is the male partner, and us humans, we are the female partner. You have to learn how to move with grace and trust. Now, because we don't have control, does not mean that things are not working out in our favor. I say this again, because we do not have control does not mean that the universe is conspiring to go against us. Doesn't mean that the universe is conspiring to hurt us or harm us or want the worst for us. No, that's not what it means. Because a lot of times when life or universe is doing these things, it's more so to put you in a place or a position where you need to be mentally or physically, meaning a different location, different job, different people. You know, it's doing something for you. Not to you, but for you. That's why it's so much important to just move with grace and not even want control. Like I said, and this is big with like relationship dynamics, because it's the same thing. When you have a real feminine woman or a feminine woman and you have a masculine man, she trusts him and she doesn't want that control. She allows him to control the dynamic. She allows him to control where they're going and control the situation, and she sits back with grace and allows him to do it because she trusts him. And it's the same thing as us humans. When we allow the trust and when we relinquish the trust to the universe, as the feminine woman relinquished her trust to her masculine man or her masculine and allow him to lead, and she moves with grace and trust and releases that control aspect, it's the same thing with us. When we're dancing with life and we allow the universe to take control and we move with grace along with it, we have a much easier time, a much better time, a much fun time. But you have to allow the trust. You have to allow the universe to take lead, and we follow, and we respond. The better you respond to how life works out for you is how beautiful your life will turn out. Again, how you respond when life happens for you, not to you. Because I said a lot of people think that life is happening to them. That's why they want to control life. Because they feel like life isn't fair or is going against them or it's to harm them and da-da-da-da-da. When you change your mindset and change what your vision or where things are coming from, you say, no. Life is happening to me. Life is happening for me. It's for my betterment. I trust. I'm going to move with grace along with it and see where we end up. See how beautiful that is? Let's say, take a step back. When you see like I was stating before, I had to edit it because there was a lot of noise. But as I was stating before, when you have the feminine woman and the masculine man, she trusts him so much she's allowed to step back. But what happens when there's two people, when she's trying to be the masculine and he's masculine, and they start bumping heads, and they don't get anywhere? Now the relationship is in turmoil because one was meant to be a leader and one was meant to help the leader. Right? So now what happens when they both want to be leader now? You got a train heading off the tracks. How's that going to happen? So it's the same thing with us. How are we trying to lead? How are we trying to control life? How are we trying to dictate and all this when life was already put in that position to do that for us? You know, that's why I never really liked questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, da 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 da. That's why I never really liked those questions. Besides the how intrusive they kind of were to pinpoint, you know, if people should invest in you or not, you know. I always liked to answer those questions with, I can't tell you necessarily where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing. I can't tell you any of those things. But one thing I know is I want to be at peace. I want to be happy. I want to be comfortable. I want to be well off. I want to be in a better position. I want to be growing. I want to be wiser. I want to be more knowledgeable. I want to be more loving. I want to be more caring. I want to be able to lend more of a helping hand and not ask for anything in return or need anything in return. You know, more of a lender than a borrower. That's where the position I want to be in. But to say, what do I want to be doing? Where do I want to be? Who do I want? I can't dictate any of that. I don't have that control. I don't have that power. Because the moment you think this is how life is going to turn out, or you want it to turn out that way, life will have a funny way of just twisting it. You know, or not even have a funny way of twisting it because you thought that was just how life was going to go. And you weren't privy to it because life is not going to give you a preview document or tell you. It's not going to do that. But hey, when you're 15, we're going to do this. When you're 20, we're going to do this. When you're 25, this is going to happen. 30, this is going to happen. It's not going to do that. So to think that we are able to control certain things, we're working too much against the current. That's why I believe just flow with ease through life. That's why I just control the things I can control. My knowledge, my wisdom, my peace, my happiness, how I help, how I can lend a helping hand. To me, these are the things I can control. I can control my peace. I can control, certain aspects no matter where life is putting me. I can control my happiness. I can control my peace. I can control how much more wisdom I'm gaining, how much more knowledge I'm gaining. I can control all these things. But I can't necessarily control what state I'm going to be in, or this, or how many cars I'm going to have, or how many homes, or I can't control any of that. I can't even control if I'm going to be married with somebody or divorced. I can't control any of that because now you're trying to control somebody else. I can't say any of that. The only thing I can control is how I respond to life. That's why I never really liked those questions about where you see yourself in 5 years, 10. I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where life is going to take me. I don't know. I do know one thing though. Wherever it takes me, I want to be at peace even more. I want to be even more abundant. I do know these things. But to say, to answer a question like that, and then people hold you to it, that's hard. That's why I say I feel like those questions were somewhat too intrusive or too not accurate. I felt like those were like third world questions in a sense, Like dating questions. Those are like dating questions people ask, or like job questions people ask to see if you're going to be with them long term, or, I feel like those were just like third world type questions. I never really asked people like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because my life has always been able to just turn at a nigga down. I thought I was going to be this, and then this happened. And I'm like, oh. And I thought I was going to be this or doing this, and then this happened. I'm like, oh. And it kind of turned out a little bit better than I planned. So it's like when stuff started turning out better than I had planned or had thought, or I started going places that I didn't even plan or imagine, or I might have wrote it down in like a dream journal or a manifestation journal, but I didn't put a time on it, and then it appears and it happens. I'm like, oh. So to me, that's all I can do. That's why I feel like I don't control anything in life. I just control how I respond to it. And life is just so much easier that way. You get to see the beauty of life then. Because you're not so stuck or so gun-ho and trying to accomplish some dream, not even some dream, but you're trying to accomplish an achievement or a goal or something like that maybe necessarily you don't even want. But you're doing it because of society. Because you want to control the outcome of your life. You want to control how people look at you. You want to control this and control that. You can't control none of that. The only thing you can control is you. That's it. So once I figure it out for real, the only thing I can really control is me. I can't control how people think about me, feel about me. I can't control what I'm going to be doing. I can't control any of that. All I can control really is my inner, my peace, my knowledge, my wisdom, my abundance, my happiness. That's the only thing I can control. You can do everything right, and you can still be broke. You couldn't control that. You could be working 2-3 jobs, and still be broke trying to survive. You can't control that, but you can control how happy you are. You can control how much more knowledge and wisdom you're gaining at that point in time in order to help somebody in the future. You can control that. And when you control that, you're not necessarily even worried that you're working 2-3 jobs because you've released control and you're just saying that's where the universe is guiding you right now in order for something else that it's going to bring in. And you understand that it's not to abuse you. You understand it's not for your harm. So it's easier to say, okay, cool, I'm working 2-3 jobs right now in order to take care of what I need to take care of. I'm blessed because I'm in a position of things being able to be taken care of. Thank you. I'm still knowledgeable. I'm still gaining more wisdom while I'm doing this right now. I'm still abundant. May not be abundant financially, but I'm abundant. And I'm not speaking about me. I'm just speaking in general. Might not be abundant right now financially, but I'm abundant in my happiness, my peace, my joy. My smile brings more abundance and peace to everybody else. So boom, 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 boom. When you line all these things up, it's like, this is for a bigger purpose. Now it's easier to move with grace while you're in the stages of your life that you're not necessarily asked for, or the stages, the ugly stages of life. Let me put it like that, the ugly stages. They're not so pretty stages. The stages that you don't necessarily want to tell people about, but you know are the fundamental portions of your life that's going to take you and build you and mold you to the person that you need to be. See how beautiful that is? When you just release that control. So the illusion of control. No, we can't control our lives. We can control how we respond to life, but we can't control our lives. Michael Jordan didn't control if he was going to the NBA. He just so happened it was destined and and lucky that he was able to go to the NBA because that's the way the universe set it up for him. But it's people better than Michael Jordan. But they weren't destined for that. So how did they respond to life versus how Michael Jordan responded? They both practiced. They both were good. They both were knowledgeable in the game. Everything da-da-da-da-da. So why did the better person not? Because they weren't destined for it. Life didn't have them going in that direction for whichever way, for whichever reason, I don't know. But life didn't have that for them. So because if life didn't have that for them, how did they respond to life? Instead of trying to control life, I want to go to NBA, da-da-da-da. So instead of trying to control it so much, they lose sight that life is, so maybe life was trying to tell them something. You might have been a better coach. Or it's better for you to teach the youth. Or for somebody who slipped up and messed up, it's better for you to teach people how not to mess up and slip up in order to achieve your dreams. Because the knowledge and wisdom that you gain through whatever situations that you were in. Like I said, that's the beauty of life. It's how you respond to it. Like if you're a masculine man, or you're a real man in general, that's one of the most beautiful things about a woman is her femininity and her grace. And that's why I said it's important to be able to tap in or even be able to acknowledge that side of you, because we all have these sides of us. So once you see that grace that a woman with femininity moves with and confidence that she moves in, and you embrace that for yourself, not moving and sashaying and all that. I'm not saying that, but but how you respond to life with grace. Life will respond to you as well. In a positive manner. I 100% believe. When things happen to you, boom, 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 and you say, okay, boom, and you moving like Neo in the Matrix, swiftly. You're just moving with grace with it. That's more so what I mean with moving with grace as a masculine man, but in a feminine concept. It's like Neo in the Matrix, when those bullets are thrown at Neo and how he just, you see how he just moves with grace with the do-do-do-do. He can't control the bullets coming, but he controls how he dodges the bullets. So it's the same thing with life. We can't control what happens to it, but we can control how we move with it. And the better we move with it and move with grace and learn, oh my God, how you turn out is so beautiful. Release that control. Don't even look for control. That's not the purpose of life. How fun would it be if you just got to control life? You're automatic millionaire. How fun would that be? It wouldn't be fun. What would you learn? That's the purpose of life. It's to be. It's just be. You know, don't be so stuck or gun hole on something that you lose sight of what life is really about. Just to be. That's it. Just be. Allow life, because we're only here for a certain amount of time. Life is going to be here. Universe is going to be here. God is going to be here. We're just visitors. So we can manifest things, we can do all that. But we're just visitors. And once we remember that we're just visitors, it's much easier for us to just say, okay, this is y'all house, this is the universe house. We're just visitors. So what you need us to do? How you need us to move? You know, where do you need us to move to? What do you need us to do? I feel like this is why men have a harder time releasing control and allowing life to happen. And we get so frustrated and angry when things don't go our way in life. I'm talking about more so not just little situations, but like life is not lifing for us, you know? I feel like this is why we have a much harder time, is because we're not used to releasing control. We're not used to allowing another entity to control and dictate things for us. So as a man, it's much, much harder than for a woman, because she's already in that quote-unquote submissive state. And I hope you guys know what I mean, submissive. I hate when people think about the word submissive as like you being a slave. Like, that's disgusting. When people take that thought and just run with it. Because we're all submissive in a sense. We're submissive to God. See, and that's what I mean. You submit to the universe, you submit to God. As a man, I submit to the universe, I submit to God. And I don't see it as, if anything, I see it more so in a humble servant, as a good position to be in, because I trust who I'm trusting. You know, I trust and I believe in the universe. I trust and believe in God. I believe and trust in these entities greater than me to lead the way. That it's not going to harm me. That everything is for my benefit. So I have no problem in submitting to the universe and allow it to move me. That's just the side note. Well, that's not the side note, but the side note of that is about the word submission and how, especially our female counterparts, hate the word submission. But you shouldn't hate the word submission. It's just a word, number one. And number two, when you really think about it, is you were born to be in that submissive state, but it's not a weakness. It's only a weakness if you choose the wrong person to be submissive to. Now they're leading you down a road of terror, leading you down a road of destruction of your mental and physical, emotional well-being, leading you down this road because that was the wrong person for you to submit to. If you were already born in that natural submissive state. Just a word of advice. But as I wrap it up, we don't have control. I think that's the beautiful thing about life, is when you don't have control and you allow life to just happen and you move along with grace. You just move along with grace, and now you are in the responding position. And how you move and dance with life will pick up on it. And life will say, this person trusts me. Like I said, it's just like that relationship dynamics. When you're in a relationship with a female and you're a masculine man and she's a feminine woman, and y'all moving and dancing, not literally moving and dancing, but you guys are moving and dancing through life, and she's responding to how you acting, she's responding perfectly, you're going to say, this is the one. This is beautiful. When that energy connection happens, you say, this is beautiful. And it's the same thing with humans and the universe. The universe is the masculine, and humans are the feminine principle in that state. And how us as humans respond and move with grace with life will be how we respond with that, and how we move with grace will be the determining factor of how great or how our life will turn out. Remember, you can't control life, but you can control how you respond to it. Hope this helps somebody today. This your favorite cousin. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.